Okay, in our example here we're going to look at multiple alleles, and multiple alleles, we just need to break it down I suppose and look. Multiple means there's going to be more than a few alleles. And the examples we've been looking at already have basically two alleles. We might have black or white, or when we're looking at codominance and complete dominance, black and white. And what we're saying now is let's put a third or fourth or fifth allele in. So there's a couple of different options. And for example here, let's have a look and imagine with our multiple alleles that we had a possibility of a black, a white, or a yellow. And what that really means here is if we look at our chromosome, on the little section of the chromosome where the gene is, where that allele is, either one of these three could slot into the spot. And we got maybe three options, but we only have two chromosomes. So we could imagine that in this case here are different genotypes. We could have a black individual, we could have an individual which was a combination of black and white, or an individual that was a combination of black and yellow, or we could have an individual that's a combination of yellow and white. And there's a whole lot of I suppose variations of the combinations we could get. And I suppose in many cases this probably more realistically represents how a lot of genes operate. There's just, in many genes, it's not just two options. There might be three, four, or numerous variations of that allele. Let's have a look at an example here of multiple alleles. And in this example we're going to look at blood groups. It's not probably the simplest example, but it's very, very common. And it involves three alleles. The allele for A, the allele for B, and the allele for O. Okay, and these are the alleles that affect the behaviour of our blood, or the characteristics of our blood, I suppose. And we notice in these three alleles we have some written as capital letters, which are dominant over the one written as lowercase. So A and B are actually dominant over O, but A and B have been written as being codominant, so they're both equally expressed if they're present together as a heterozygous individual. So we have a couple of layers of things. Multiple alleles because there's 1, 2, 3 alleles, but we have codominance between A and B, and these are both dominant over the recessive O allele. Okay, so let's have a look at how this appears in our different blood groups. If an individual has both of the A alleles, they've got blood group A. If they've got just the A, that'll be dominant over the I, which is the O blood group, the small I, and that will give them a blood group A. Similar sort of thing when we look at B. Two B's will give it B, one B and an O. B dominating over the O will give it a blood group of B. If both A and B are present, they are codominant, and that both characteristics are expressed, and we get a blood group AB. And our final situation down here is where we have two of the recessive alleles and we have blood group O being expressed. So let's have a look at this in a problem. Okay, and let's imagine that we have an individual with the blood group, let's make them heterozygous for blood group A, and we'll cross them with someone with blood group, let's go AB. Okay, and the gametes produced, again, always important to write these out. Okay, can either be, the parent could either give the dominant A allele or the recessive O allele, or in this case the other parent could give them either the A or the B. Now let's write the possible gametes down our Punnett square, and put the other parent on the other side. And again, it's just a matter of filling in one from here and then one from here and working our way along. Okay. Gamete from here and one from here. Okay. And as we write this out, we have one individual who has the genotype homozygous for A. We have one individual which is, I might just make these into ones so we don't get confused with our I's and our ones. We have, getting a little messy, aren't we? Now, and we have one individual who's heterozygous with 1A and 1B, and one individual who here who is heterozygous for B. And let's have a look at how they'd actually appear as phenotypes. We'd have two individuals who are going to have blood group A. We have one individual who's going to be AB, and one individual who's going to have blood group B. So 50% are going to be A, and 25% of the other two, A, B and B. Okay, probably important to do a few examples with multiple alleles, and I'd definitely try and do some with the blood groups because it combines a few of the areas that we know. It combines the codominants as well as the multiple alleles, and it replicates a very, very common example. Good luck with the multiple alleles.